All right. Let us move along to the Western Conference, where there was another surprising result. Three really surprising game fives, in my opinion. And this was the second of those. Kawhi Leonard out, and they fear he has an ACL tear.
Sprain, I think.
Haven't heard any news yet. Was it officially diagnosed a knee sprain?
I've seen a couple things where it was like tear speculated and then switched to sprain.
Yeah. So I'm still not 100% clear on that, but of course he's probably out for this series. And then if they make it, it'll be day by day. I guess this is why he was load managing by quarter in the playoffs, because just something terrible like this happened, especially so unfortunate after he had one of the most athletic plays I've ever seen with that just posterization of Derek Favors. That was a top 10 in-game playoff dunk. That was pretty sick. And it was those moments that I miss from the Toronto Raptors playoff run. Today is the 2-year anniversary of the championship parade, which was a nightmare day for me, but was really great for everyone else. And he had those couple dunks over Giannis, that one in transition that we'll never forget. And this was one of those moments that he pulled off for the Clippers. And game 5, no Kawhi. And Paul George has redeemed my legacy game, a bit of a redemption game. Now we have it almost like we have to clarify every single time we have the pod, but Paul George has been great this playoffs, and he is a great player. But it's just some of the shaky, inconsistent moments he's had really puts a darker spot on his career. But this was a big one for him because the opportunity was there with more touches in an offense where it's designed to go through wings and against a team that doesn't necessarily have the perfect guy to guard him. Royce O'Neal, great defender, a little bit too small. Joe Ingles, Bogdanovich, larger matchup with him size-wise, but just not as fleet of foot as Paul George. And Paul George deceptively has some great attacking moves. And is in really tight handle and can create a shot quite effectively. And he goes for 37 in the game. Really clean, really polished. Had a couple hiccups early in the fourth quarter, and you're thinking maybe it was going to happen again for him. But he turns it around, makes a couple late shots, gets some great contribution from Reggie Jackson again. The Clippers really commit to going small, spread out the floor again. Gobert lessens his impact on the game. And if you're Utah, that was one that you let slip away that you couldn't let slip away, because now it just buys LA a little bit more time. If it's a minor injury for Kawhi, he could be back in time for game 7. And Utah really had a golden opportunity to get a pretty important win in front of their fans and have 2 shots at closing it out. But now they got to win both. And those demons are creeping up again for Utah fans about this team that is been the best it's been in a really long time, and yet they still can't get past the second round and move the needle.
I imagine either fan base is going to have headaches, demons, and trauma after this series ends. Although at this point, I think with the Kawhi injury, it's got to feel worse to be a Jazz fan of the 2 possible scenarios.
Yeah, just as the top seed.
Yeah.
Although if you're the Clippers, you worry about losing this series if Kawhi actually just decides, you know what? I came here looking to win right away, and now we haven't done really squat in 2 years. Maybe I'll move on. Maybe I'll go to the Lakers. I don't think he'd do that, but it's a possibility that you fear when you go to bed at night if you're a Clippers fan, because they have not experienced any sort of success as a franchise ever.
And there's no hope for the near term future with all those draft picks gone.
Yes.
So
Oh
it's
my God.
now or like turn off that part of your brain for 10 years and then check in.
Yeah. The winner of this series, whoever that might be, looking like Clippers now, will head to Phoenix